You're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
I recognize that one. It's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
That's correct.
All right. I do. I'm raising my hand. This is Where You Live with Gene and Tony. We're broadcasting from the Natural Green Lawn and Landscape Studios. We're brought to you by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. As an American Family Insurance agent, Kim believes there's much more to insurance than the policy itself. It's about providing you with dependable protection and services. Kim believes that trust and credibility can't be demanded. It can only be earned by what you say and do. Call Kim at 651-482-1898. 651-482-1598 and tell her that Gene and Tony sent you. Time for a message from the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. The MHA Minute is brought to you by Start to Finish Maintenance Contractors. Start to Finish provides 24-hour service for all of your home and business maintenance needs. Call Start to Finish at 952-259-1219 for your home, for your business, for your peace of mind.
Do you need products to successfully run your rental property business? Interested in a class about fair housing or rekeying locks? Want to use the plain language lease that is used by the majority of rental property owners in Minnesota? Then you should visit mmha.com. That's two M's, mmha.com. That's the website for the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association, the most comprehensive resource in the state for owners of everything from a duplex to hundreds of units, and for townhome and condo associations as well. They've been around for 40 years and put on hundreds of seminars, publish a monthly magazine, sell Attorney General approved leases, and have countless other tools for property owners. While they are a membership organization, all of their resources and seminars and their annual convention and their spring conference and their orientation programs are open to everyone. For more information, visit the website, mmha.com.
I'd like our listeners to call our hotline, leave us a message, and tell us why you like living in a homeowners association. The hotline number is 952-224-2668. And, of course, if you have a complaint or a question, you can also leave that. But I'm interested to hear what people like about their HOA.
We monitor the hotline.
Negative.
But we monitor the hotline,
That's
and
right.
We'll listen to your comments, and we'll bring them up on next week's show.
What I was thinking was we hear so much about the negative things that are happening. I want to hear some positive things.
That's right.
So we were talking about the an association, I think this is in California.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, who doesn't like what the Master Association is providing, and they want to break, and they want a reduction of their dues because they don't use all the amenities provided. So we agreed that doesn't work because when you purchased your home, you agreed to the whole package, right?
Yes. And I don't know anybody that wants to see a change with a contract or agreement when the change affects them in a negative way.
Sure.
Everybody says, "Hey, wait a minute." What's the first thing they say? We had an agreement. You can't
That's
do
right.
it.
I counted on this.
If the association
I planned for this.
If the association said to you, homeowner, we're going to charge $220 a month for your monthly assessment,
right.
And now all of a sudden they say, "Oh, next month make that $280," and the month after that you can make it $250, and then after that we really need $310. You're going, "Hey, wait a minute!
Right?
We got an agreement," and you'll find in governing documents there is some sort of order that yes, a board can raise dues, but they're limited to what they can do. Why?
That's
because
right.
You have a contract. There's an expectation with a contract, and the same thing with the sub-association and the master association. And in this case, with this California HOA, just because they're a 55-plus association, they knew when they first purchased the home that they were part of a master association and that dues were going there and for these types of services.
So if you agreed to pay for the skateboard park when you moved into that association,
yes,
you can't just stop paying for it.
That's right. But I said right before the break, there are things you can do if you want to see a change.
Okay.
And guess what? These have always been there.
Okay. This isn't new.
This is not new. And you know what? This also is the same for someone who is in a single-family home just living in a particular city or municipality as well.
Okay.
Number one, if you don't like the way you're being taxed, the way people are what they're asking money for, then number one, you can make a difference when you vote. And so for the person living in the single family home, it's the vote for who your city council is, who your mayor is. For the person in the homeowners associations, who you're electing on the board of directors.
That's right. You can even run for the board yourself.
Yes. And if you're part of the master association, there's also an annual meeting, and there are also elections. And so
there's also a board that operates the master association.
Exactly.
They are also elected
and you
officials,
can affect it that way. Yes.
Good point.
Again, it's not that quick fix like that association that said we can't do foreclosures because we can't do them all at once.
Yeah.
Well, start a little bit at a time.
But if I am 55 and over and I'm not using the skateboard park, I can go to my board meeting. I can go to my master association meeting and say, hey, I'm going to put this out here. Do we really need this amenity? Anyone else agree with me?
That's
Why
right.
don't we get rid of this amenity?
And guess what? If that master association surveyed a majority of the homeowners in the master association, and they said, you know what? You brought up a good point. We don't see use of this like we did before. They have the right to change that, and you can do that. But don't change the contract just because I don't feel like it anymore.
Right.
Which is what they were doing.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing.
The election is one thing.
Yeah.
Two is participate. And that appeal is really an important aspect. A lot of people say, "Oh, I can't make a difference," So that's why
you can't fight City Hall. It doesn't do any good to complain to my council person or my state legislator or my federal senator. People have that feeling that they can't make a change, affect a change.
Yes, they do. But I'm here to tell you that if there's a place that you can affect change and more rapidly than anywhere else, it's in your homeowners association.
Yes, right.
Don't you agree?
Right. Absolutely. You have a direct say. You have a direct vote and a direct say in what goes on.
So for this association, for them to just say, we don't like it, we don't want it, no, you're going to probably find that you're skating on some thin ice.
But you were also mentioned that it's possible for a homeowners association it may be possible to drop out of a master association.
Yes. And the way that they would do that would be, again, to make an appeal. You can either make an appeal to say we don't want this service anymore, or you can make an appeal and say we would like our community to disband so that we would no longer be responsible for those shared amenities. And we won't use those amenities either.
There's the other side of the coin.
Exactly.
You don't get to use them if you're not paying for it.
Even though you're a 55-plus community, when your grandkids come over, no, you better not be sending them over to the pool, to the skate park, to the tennis courts.
Yeah, good point.
Because that's not for them to use.
I would also mention that your governing documents actually lay out how you dissolve an association, if it's possible to dissolve your association.
Yes.
There's the steps are in there.
And we're talking about something that is generally a process that you're talking about a supermajority of some type.
Yeah, you would need to get a high percentage of your neighbors to agree. You'd have to vote on it.
Now that can happen.
Process.
You're dealing with a property. It's currently an HOA, and they're looking at possibly dissolving, right?
I am?
Yes, the rental property.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I have a very new situation for me. It's 33 condominiums. It was originally an apartment community that converted to condos, I think, in 07, 08.
Okay.
33 different individuals bought those apartments and immediately turned around and rented them out to other people. So
they weren't owner occupied.
They weren't owner occupied, and they were mostly accidental landlords. So it became untenable for the city. There were lots of problems. They didn't know who to contact, who was in charge of these renters. Ultimately, one investor...
And untenantable, too.
Untenantable and untenable.
Yeah.
One investor has slowly, over the last 2 or 3 years, bought all of the condos And ultimately, he plans to dissolve the association.
Except for maybe, was it 1 or 2 units?
I think there's a couple still outstanding that are bank owned, and there's one holdout owner who still owns her unit. She rents it out to somebody she doesn't want to sell.
Now this
is odd. I've never dealt with this before. So he's going to dissolve the association and turn it back into a rental community. And
at this point, he certainly holds the cards with the supermajority. He at any time could act dissolve it.
Probably after he owned 80%, he could have dissolved
it. But
he
hasn't because he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He's been trying to work with the remaining owners and gently affect this change.
See, there's your nice story for today.
All right.
They're nice developers too.
All right.
Right?
Yes.
And so, but that will probably take place, you think, in another year or two?
I think this year it might happen, 2013. I have to say I'd be happy when it happens because right now I'm dealing with 33 separate rental licenses.
Oh, yeah.
And if it becomes an apartment community again, I'll only have one rental license to do it.
And there is a whole sub-story to that whole thing, too. That could be another show.
There you go.
And maybe we should pick that up next week because that would be good. But, hey, it looks like that's all the time that we have for today. Folks, thanks a lot for joining us here on Where You Live. We hope you have a great rest of your weekend. We look forward to seeing you here next Saturday at 10, right here on AM 1280, The Patriot.
I have been chosen. Farewell, my friend. I go on to a better place.
Take care now. Bye-bye then.
I regret to announce this is the end. I'm going now. I bid you all a very fond farewell.